I'm Alan Herriot. In 2016, I was commissioned to create a sculpture to form part of Elgin's Castle to Cathedral to Kashmir historical interpretation project. My sculpture represents William Edward. He was Elgin's town drummer for over 60 years, from 1760 until 1822. I've imagined William striding through the town in the early hours of the morning, waking everyone up by banging on his drum, and a boy running behind him drumming on an old cooking pot. A stray dog jumps up, barking, adding to the din. There are many stages in the making of a bronze sculpture. I've developed my own way of working. Usually, I start by sketching out some rough ideas to meet the client's wishes, and choose the best of these to develop. I make a small-scale 3D version of the idea, known as a maquette. I model it with enough detail to show my clients approximately how the full-size sculpture should look. Once the maquette gains the approval of the client, I start making the full-size sculpture. This one here. I build a rigid stick figure out of metal. This is called an armature. This is a supporting framework, strong enough to take the weight of the clay that it will eventually carry. I bulk up this stick figure by adding expanded polystyrene foam. I carve the polystyrene with a sharp knife to make it conform to the basic shape of the sculpture, leaving it a little bit thinner than the final shape. This allows room for a layer of clay to be added to the surface. I gradually add clay to the expanded polystyrene and carefully shape it to create all the fine detail that will be visible on the finished sculpture. The final appearance of the bronze sculpture exactly matches the shapes and textures I make in the clay. This is Andrew Edwards, who was the town drummer for Elgin. And he held the post from 1760 to 1822, more or less 60 years. So it was an incredible 60 years. And he would beat his drum at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then again at 9 o'clock in the evening. Basically what we're doing now is we're separating this figure from the drummer so that we can actually get this through to the casting room. Each of the units will be done separately. When the clay stage is completed, the whole sculpture is covered with coats of liquid rubber until it's about 10 millimeters thick. The rubber hardens, and on the inside it accurately mimics all the shapes, textures and details transferred from the surface of the clay. The rubber now forms a mould from which the sculpture can be cast in what is known as the lost wax process. In order that the rubber maintains the form of the original, rigid plaster jackets are added. Once the rubber is cut away, it is replaced in the plaster jacket. Hot wax is then painted into the rubber and built up in layers until about 4 to 5 millimeters thick. The moulds are put together and the seams are waxed to join them. The moulds are removed to reveal a hollow wax replica of the original clay. So the more you can do in the clay and in the wax, the less you have to do in the bronze. It's certainly a lot easier doing this in the wax than it would be obviously in the cast metal. Steel nails are inserted through the wax to hold the inner plaster core and the outer plaster jacket apart when the wax is melted away. A system of solid tubes of wax is added to the wax replica and melted away, creating a channel through which molten bronze flows, forming the hollow bronze sculpture. The outer plaster case is removed and the inner plaster core is drilled out, revealing the bronze sculpture, which still has the bronze channels attached. They are removed and the surface of the sculpture is worked on using various abrasive tools, achieving a high quality, attractive and durable surface. The various bronze sections of the sculpture are welded together, and the visible welds are smoothed away. The surface of the bronze is coloured using a combination of heat and chemicals applied in a variety of ways. This is known as patinating the surface. Coats of silicon wax are applied to protect and highlight the detail. The Elgin Drummer sculpture is sited in the pedestrianised Elgin High Street. The finished statue is secured in position. After 4 months in the making, it is finally ready to be unveiled.